Tonight on Weather Extra, we're talking about tornadoes and the cleanup after a tornado outbreak that has now killed 6 people, what they're doing to recover from these storms that have destroyed homes and businesses.
And here in Alabama, we had some loud storms overnight. It was quite stormy, and we'll show you where a lightning strike happened.
And we're saying farewell to one of our own. We'll hear one final time from Fred Hunter, absolutely Alabama, about his memories from 27 years of forecasting.
WBRC Fox 6 News. First Alert Weather Extra starts now.
And those pictures kind of say it all, right? Seeing Fred and the elements out there. He's covered so many historic weather events, and just so glad we have an opportunity one more time to talk to Fred here coming up on Weather Extra.
And listen, Wes, I know many people know I'm new here, but it's just been an honor to work with Fred, even just for the short period of a year and the impact he can have on anyone in just a short period of time.
I know. He really has an impact on everyone. You've heard so many stories today, and Fred's certainly top of mind today here and this operation. And we're going to talk to Fred again coming up here in a few moments. But right now, I want to give you, first off, as always, here on Weather Extra, we start with the next big thing, and that's going to be some fog coming in later on tonight. All the wet weather is moving on out of here, but we picked up some rain earlier today. We're thinking we might see a couple of isolated showers returning for the afternoon, but not seeing much out there. The rain, it moved on out in a hurry, and we've actually enjoyed some nice conditions this afternoon, but we do have some concerns as we mentioned overnight and into the day for tomorrow. First off, there's still some leftover rain, but it's mainly south of our area. But I know we have a lot of folks watching us. We're streaming right now online, folks from Marion back in towards Valley Grande. We're seeing a couple of isolated showers you get down into Perry and into Dallas counties. But the concern tomorrow is a code orange air quality alert for air quality levels unhealthy for sensitive groups. So what happens here is we have monitoring stations around the area, Jefferson and the Shelby counties there. When we see those higher ozone concentrations, we're concerned for a higher level of fine particulates that can be quite dangerous and harmful. So for folks with asthma, you'll want to avoid strenuous outdoor activities for tomorrow and just be extra careful out there. It's going to be a poor air quality, but it's going to be a dry day. We'll see those afternoon highs rising into the 80s. Let's talk about the foggy weather, and this is mostly going to be a concern after midnight. So if you have plans for this evening, not an immediate concern. Looks like some nice weather conditions through late night, but after midnight, you can see in the early morning hours, could start to see those visibilities drop off. So factor in some extra drive time for the morning hours tomorrow. Rest of the day, it looks like plenty of sunshine for Wednesday. You can see there the afternoon highs rising into the mid to upper 80s, and also think for our Wednesday, we're going to be seeing mostly sunny weather once we get into the afternoon. A few more clouds moving in by late on Thursday, but some hot weather next couple of days. I mentioned mid to upper 80s. I think some of us, we're going to touch 90 degrees once we move into the day on Thursday. Not much wet weather, though, staying dry next 2 days. We'll see the chance for scattered storms coming back for Friday. But right now I want to check back in with Tania, talking more about that air quality. Tania, that's going to be a concern again, mainly Jefferson and Shelby counties tomorrow.
Yes, tomorrow, and it expires at 5 p.m. But that air quality alert means that if you're sensitive to changes in the air, maybe because you have asthma, you need to take precautions. Here's a full screen showing some ways that you can take those precautions, including limiting driving or idling your car for too long. You also want to avoid using lawn chemicals or mowing your lawn. Maybe not do that tomorrow, okay? Fred is like, yes, great, less work for me. You also don't want to burn any leaves or trash since that smoke gets in the air. And if you have to fill your gas tank, try not to do it until after that air quality alert expires, after about 5 or 6 p.m.
All right, so we're joined again by meteorologist Fred Hunter. And
Tania had 2 bits of good news for me.
Yeah.
Don't drive, which is fine with me. I've been doing it for 27 years. I've been making that commute. And don't mow the lawn. So,
Fred, I promised Sarah I would tell everyone at home, he has an incredible sense of humor, as you can see right there. Such a great storyteller, Fred, and you've told so many great stories across the state, but I want folks at home to know that you are an incredible scientist and meteorologist, and you've covered a lot of weather in this state. I remember when I was a kid growing up in Tuscaloosa, seeing Fred, and it really inspired me, as I know it has so many other meteorologists, and nobody has been doing the weather on television longer than you have, and I know you have covered some of the most historic events that have happened, and I asked you this question question earlier, but for folks at home, what's the one event that stands out, the most memorable?
Just because of the geographical proximity, April 27th, because that one came to me, and that was days, weeks, months, years in recovery. So that has to be number one. And full disclosure, that is the one time, W, and I haven't really said this today, that it really occurred to me, this may be it. This may be my last
I can
rodeo.
hear your voice. I remember the day on the 27th, I could hear you say, hey, I'm looking at the tornado. Let Wes and JP know.
Well, Wes was on the air, and I was looking at the tornado, and Wes had just gotten out of his mouth. This tornado is headed directly for, and Wes knows that geography so well of Tuscaloosa, headed directly for Tuscaloosa Police Department, which it was. But then, as he was saying that, the tornado turned and headed right for downtown Tuscaloosa. And I said, we got to get this on, because this tornado, the path has changed. So
it's such a blessing. I walked out of that. I mean, after seeing, I could not believe that building, and you were inside after the tornado moved through. But not just tornadoes, winter storms, hurricanes. I mean, you've seen so much, and doing this so long. I wrote this on a post on my social media that's
exit 205 in Chilton County, by the way.
And this video, when I saw this and you out there with the lightning popping, I mean, that was the appropriate view. I mean, that's what Fred never shies away from the elements, always is one to tackle where's the storm to help bring that information to you. And that's just been the most incredible thing to see. And no matter which event happens, but no computer model, Fred, can match the experience of forecasting on a daily basis around here.
And nothing will ever replace. They talk about social media, which is great, and the internet and so forth. Nothing and I took this from Bob Schieffer, a longtime reporter for CBS. Bob Schieffer said nothing will ever replace a reporter with boots on the ground, on the scene at the moment, and reporting on that. But let me say this, because we talk about Ivan and Katrina and Rita and April 27th and the other storms which you mentioned earlier. What I learned in doing this is people would come up to me and say, you remember that storm that came through here in XYZ year? Well, what I learned was, to them, because that's the only storm that ever affected them directly, that's the only tornado we've ever had in Alabama. So, JP made the remark many years ago, if it hits your house, they're all F5. So
That's right. If it happens at your house, that's your April 27th.
Right. Exactly.
So I know you've heard that story so many times, Fred, but I've certainly learned a lot from Fred, and I know you won't be a stranger around here. Hopefully we can have you back telling some more stories right here.
I won't be any stranger than some of the other characters that hang around here, I'll tell you that.
All right, Fred. Well, we're certainly gonna miss seeing you around here often, but certainly wish you the best and enjoy time with those beautiful grandkids. And had a great chance to meet Fred's family today, and thank his lovely wife for allowing him to be here with us so many long nights covering severe weather here at WVRC Fox 6 News. But we will certainly miss you, Fred. Thank you for everything.
Thank you, sir. Thank you out there.
And I asked Fred, did he have any plans for the weekend? He's going to be out partying. No, I'm just kidding, guys. Anything but working, right? He gets to relax and enjoy his retirement, and I couldn't be more than excited for him. But communities in multiple states in the heartland are dealing with the even more storms this evening. It's the last thing they need as they clean up debris from this weekend's deadly tornadoes. Thankfully, hundreds of volunteers are showing up to help with recovery efforts. And Fox Weather, Nicole Valdez has more.
Days after tornadoes plowed through the Midwest, another round of severe weather is threatening cleanup efforts. Forecasters say large hail, strong wind gusts, and more twisters could hit parts of the northern and central plains through Tuesday. This comes as people scramble to recover what's left of their communities.
We're just taking it day by day. I mean, you come upstairs and see that you have no house from emerging from the basement. You're home, but you're actually homeless.
From Texas to Iowa, people are still digging through piles of debris where homes and businesses once stood. Some saying they're seeking shelter with family and friends after losing everything. At least 5 people were killed during these storms, 4 in Oklahoma and 1 in Iowa. Others now telling their terrifying stories of survival.
I found a foot. They kept on digging and digging. More people come and they dug me out.
Hundreds of volunteers now helping clean up and distribute food, clothing, and water after those tornadoes destroyed grocery stores and hospitals. Here in Nebraska, some say these tight-knit communities will continue to show up for one another.
You don't really have a choice. You got to start over. I'm just super grateful and blessed. I got my husband, my dogs.
Nebraska's governor declaring a state of emergency, unlocking additional resources for those survivors who are just starting that recovery process. In Elkhorn, Nebraska, I'm Nicole Valdez, Fox Weather.
And in 30 seconds, we're going to take a quick check on the forecast and some storm damage from last night. We'll be right back. You're watching First Alert Weather Extra.
All right, taking a look at those rain chances here over the next 6 days. And next couple days we'll have dry weather. Going into Friday, we'll start to see scattered showers and storms. It looks like afternoon, evening, if we see anything, and the greatest chances will be in areas to the north and west. That's just based on what we're seeing right now. But we're getting into that time of the year, and I just can't stress this enough. Check this forecast every day, because as we get into these scattered thunderstorm type patterns, you really need to get in there closer to those events to really specify where we could see some of those pop-ups. But Saturday and Sunday, both days, will feature a chance, as you can see, for some scattered rain at times. I still think north and west, that's where we're seeing some of that rain trying to sneak in here later on this week. We're right now seeing a high pressure ridge, and it's blocking a lot of this wet weather. That's why it's been kind of dry past couple days, and some of that rain was finally able to make it in here last night and through the early morning, but now that ridge is starting to build back in. So next couple days, that's why it's so dry. So it'll take a little while for that rain to work its way back in here, but we will see some scattered showers. We'll talk more about the weekend. I'll have the 7-day forecast coming up. And I mentioned last night we had rain, we had thunderstorms. You may have woke up to some of those loud rumbles that we talked about. And check this out, lightning striking this tree at Cahaba Heights Elementary School. Just shows you the power of lightning. And you can see how it just peeled a part of the tree bark off. And John Talbot, one of our First Alert weather watchers, shared this photo with us earlier today. But just a sign there. That's one of the reasons why it's a tall object. We always say whenever there is lightning, stay away from trees. Lightning safety, and that's another thing, Tania, as we start talking about these scattered storms. It doesn't have to be a severe storm to have lightning, and that's a concern with any thunderstorm. When thunder roars, you go indoors, as we always say.
Yes, it is, Wes. Still ahead on First Alert Weather Extra, we're taking a look at rainfall totals from last night's storms, as well as the possibility of fog in some spots tomorrow morning. We'll have more of your 7-day forecast as well. Stay with us. You're watching Weather Extra.
Well, you may have woken up to some rainfall and those loud rumbles earlier today. This is a look at the soil moisture and where we had some of the more beneficial rain to really help out the plants. And you can see our model projections there. Northern Tuscaloosa County North and Coleman County had some nice rainfall totals. Not as much rain in here, Birmingham and Point South. But right now, Matt and Mickey check in. Give us some updates on just how much rain we received across our area.
Hey Mickey, this morning we were actively tracking all those showers and storms that moved through.
Yeah, we had a lot of rainfall in some areas, had some traffic accidents as well. Destiny was really busy early this morning. We always work in tandem with our traffic department on busy days, but got some clearing.
Yeah, this was
a
photo I took right up on top of Red Mountain here at Fox 6, and
Nice
it was really pretty to see the blue sky after the storms went through, and we had some pretty intense lightning really close here on top of Red Mountain, so it was pretty scary for a little bit, but a really nice view there. I want to show you this viewer photo. This is actually Michael Blake sent this in. The rainbow. This is right off 280 as you go towards Alex City.
Is that Lyndon Blake's brother?
It sure is.
How about that?
Yeah, thanks for sharing that, but isn't that pretty cool to see?
It really is. Sign of the promise.
So let's look at how much rain has fallen. I know this is for the past 5 days, but most of this, like I said, is this morning. And you can see in green, you're talking about a ½ of an inch to an inch of rainfall. Not as much rain in East Alabama, say west of 65. We had a little bullseye there in Tuscaloosa and the southwestern and southern portions of Walker County, almost 2 to 3 inches of rain.
Yeah, they had an aerial flood advisory, typically for your lower lying areas and your streams, creeks, rivers, places like that. But yeah, it was pretty isolated there, but man, some heavy downpours came through.
Yeah, there's definitely some winters with a lot of rain in some areas. If you're hoping for some rain, for instance, as you go south of Shelby County, didn't really see that much in the way of rainfall. But let's talk about tomorrow, shall we? And I think we're going to wake up with some upper 50s and low 60s.
Yeah, could see a little bit of patchy fog out there as well tomorrow, but yeah, this is going to be a hot day. It starts out in the low 60s, ends up in the mid 80s. So yeah. A toasty day, good day to wear a hat and maybe some short sleeve shirts.
Yeah.
But mentioning that fog, what are we looking at here, Matt?
Yeah, we're going to show you two different models to show a little bit of fog, mainly south of Alabama and also maybe going into East Alabama into North Georgia. So we'll have to watch to see if there's any fog that forms overnight tonight into tomorrow morning. Let's show you a different model, and it's showing maybe some fog really developing as you go south of I-20, so southern portions of the state. So we'll be watching that tomorrow morning that you can tune in on Good Day Alabama.
And if you've got some pictures, weather pictures you want to send in to us, we could use them right here on Weather Extra. Might even can use them in some of our newscasts. But we always appreciate that. You just scroll down to the bottom of the First Alert Weather app and you can see where to submit those photos.
Always look forward to seeing them.
All right, Matt and Mickey, as we check out the fog forecast, you can see here that the new data showing that there is going to be some development out there tomorrow morning, so we'll need to watch out for that. This is the new updated model data that we have in this evening, and you can see right there showing visibility down to less than a mile early tomorrow morning. So watch out for that. You check in with the Good Day team early in the day. Next big thing, though, as we mentioned, we have some hot weather on the way for the next couple of days. Let's go over to First Alert AccuTrack radar, and you can see Jefferson and Shelby counties highlighted. That's for the air quality alert for tomorrow. Most areas, though, for this evening, some nice tranquil conditions out there, staying dry for most of us, but to the south there's still a couple leftover showers that we're seeing here. This is just to the east of Marion, down into Perry County, moving out of Dallas County. This should stay south of our coverage area, but for folks, I know a lot of folks are watching us on streaming and areas here around Subtle and to the south there, just giving you that first alert near the Highway 80 corridor. Once again, look at this. I mean, folks out here in parts of Oklahoma, Texas, Kansas just cannot catch a break. Another round of severe weather, storms lining up. Actually, right there, tornado warning near Oklahoma City again. That's right there near the Stillwater area. Folks are dealing with severe weather happening. All this is going to stay to the west of us, but once again, we'll see that start to approach our region. Once we get into Friday, we'll see an increasing chance for scattered showers and thunderstorms. I went back and placed about a 12-hour loop on this, so you can see all that rain from the early morning. We had a good coverage overnight, just not as much rain for those areas to the east. Some of the models had the rain hanging on into the afternoon, but it moved out quickly across East Alabama, so we didn't end up with quite as much wet weather. Just really picked up some speed, moved on out, so that's why we have cleared out for most of our area this afternoon. But this evening, we're not concerned about the air quality. This is going to be a concern for tomorrow, again, for Jefferson and Shelby counties. Looking at the forecast data, not much in the form of rain tonight. We're going to clear out. We'll see that foggy weather early tomorrow morning with temperatures near 60. Rest of the day warming up into the mid to upper 80s. It's going to feel hot out there during the afternoon, and we stay dry into Thursday morning. Lows around 60 Thursday afternoon. Could touch 90 degrees in some areas, but notice how those showers and storms start to move a bit closer to the state there. That ridge that's going to keep us dry should start to break down a bit, and that's going to allow for some more pop-ups, as you can see this weekend, Saturday, also into Sunday there. We're going to see the chance for some scattered showers and storms. I think Friday, north and west, the greater chance for rain. Saturday, we may end up with a few isolated showers in the morning, and then again maybe some pop-ups there during the afternoon. As you can see on our 7-day forecast, high temperatures in the 80s. But just beyond the 7-day forecast, I've been talking, Tania, you and I actually talked about this late next week. Some of the models for Mother's Day weekend hinting that we could see a potent cold front move in. Now that certainly could change this far out, but we'll have to watch that for the possibility of some stormy weather for the Mother's Day weekend.
Yeah, especially on that Sunday. We're watching it very closely. We do have that potential there around your May 11th and May 12th. So giving you that first alert. Still lots of uncertainty on those days. We're still several days out, so we'll continue to fine tune that rain and storm chance the closer we get. But it looks like that possibility for your weekend, this upcoming weekend. Yes, some more active weather in the forecast. Scattered activity from showers to storms. There could be some lightning, heavy downpours across some areas. And then we have that wet weather really carrying on into early next week, Monday and even through Wednesday. We start to see more of that isolated chance from Tuesday, Wednesday, with more scattered activity around by May 9th and May 10th. And we talked about your Mother's Day's weekend, hoping for the best on that weekend, but we'll continue to give you updates right here. You're watching First Alert Weather Extra. Don't go anywhere. More updates right here after the break.